Yeah, what can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family motto. Are you ready, Jim?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Yeah. I've been known to come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown to sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy. I've been known to come up, counting money till my thumbs hurt. No Birdman, bitch, but I'm a stunner. Just watch how you run up. I keep a couple gunners, I've been grinding all winter just to flex all over summer shit. Wrist cold when I fall through, rose go to my arm, boo. In and out of my city, but come whenever I call you. Who gon' love me more than when I'm stacking out on tour? Them hoes that made it past security, they knocking on my door. You gon' be there when they gone. Show my love by getting more. Hustle so you ain't alone. You won't leave me, that's for sure. I'm talking Benjis, Franklin's, all these hundos on my floor. I just broke a couple bands, believe me, I've been going hard. I'm tipping bottle after bottle, swerving model after model. Who won't cash? That's the motto. Spend it like I hit the lotto. Yeah, I'm loving my life. I know that I ain't shit without you. Actions speak louder than words. They broke cause they just talk about you, huh? I've been known to come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown to sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy. Money bag after money bag, I'm the man now. Play the cards that I was dealt and I ain't need no handouts. Fresh on every set, get respect, mama out of debt. Got a new connect, we the best, homie run the check. Wifey got a new bag, new house, you mad? We just doing us, feeling wavy, fuck a do-rag. This that no stress flow, bobbing on my ex. She don't love cash, kiss my ass, baby XO. Thank you for that line, Mr. West, but I'm next though. Hey, you me the sad bitch, I'm blessed, sipping XO. For the love of money, I stay fucking hungry. I parted ways with the kitchen, that just wasn't for me. Every show they love me, now I'm showing love back. They ain't taking nothing from me, so I throw a couple stacks. You win them in your town, have some fun, blow a bag. Fuck with me when I'm around, trust me, shorty, I'll be back, huh? I've been known to come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown to sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy.
Hey, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? What's goody? Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Welcome to the Alphabets Football Show. I am your host, Marcus the Alphabets, where we take you on about a 2-hour-long journey to discuss our favorite sport in the whole wide world. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, and if you weren't able to, I hope you were able to at least have some fellowship with friends and family and people who genuinely care about you. But first things first, I'd like to introduce my lovely co-host. I call her Miss Bruce Willis because she's die hard. Mona, what's good?
Oh, my Christmas punch that I made for Thanksgiving.
We starting early, huh? We a month out from Christmas, and we gonna get our Christmas punch on Thanksgiving, huh? Get it started.
I just, you know what? It was my mom's recipe, and I just have been really missing her, so I just decided to make it with Thanksgiving dinner.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I hope everybody's doing all right. I hope I'm stuffed. I'm It's been a day already. I'm turkeyed out. I'm hammed out. I say that. I probably have one more helping. Mashed potatoes, maybe one more. Then I want a hot dog. But had a good time, friends and family, and it's always good to interact with people. I'm always really thankful because there's some Thanksgivings that I spent overseas, so I'm always thankful to have I posted up a video one from like nearly 20 years ago when I was in Afghanistan, and I actually did a commercial like for my hometown for the Super Bowl. So I'm always thankful to be able to enjoy that. But we had some action, 3 Thanksgiving Day games. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that a little bit. We had a game today earlier, Black Friday game. We'll talk about that. I did a little coffee talk this morning. No, not really coffee talk, more like Diet Cherry Coke talk. We talked about that a little bit before the game.
You last week you were doing your butter pecan creamer.
Yes.
Well,
what you got?
I got me some. I have to agree with you. It's really, really good.
Is it the bomb? Is the bomb, right?
Really good. I like my hazelnut better, but I really like the butter pecan.
The butter pecan, I had it. It's just it's
all that. He's done with wings. Or he said he's done with turkey. It's time for wings and burgers.
Well, let me tell you something. Wings, I could do wings nearly every day. And see, it all depends. Like people, they like, Marcus, you live in El Paso. I could eat Mexican food every day. And yes, I felt that same way when I moved here. I cannot, as much as I love green chili, chicken enchiladas, I cannot eat them every day. I think maybe if I lived in Buffalo, maybe I would get to the point where no, I don't know. I love wings, so
I lived in Texas.
Yeah.
And I could not do Mexican food every day.
When I first got here, like for the first 2 weeks, I was like, "This is great. I'm in heaven," But I love me some wings, so. But we got a little bit of information to put out to y'all. If you love football, get your ass up in here. Like and tag the show. We're live on YouTube. Get up in there and subscribe to the channel, and you get notifications. Give us some likes and some thumbs up on there if you like what we do, and get your ass up in here and get in the comment section. Let's discuss this. We got, we're going to talk about the games that happened during Thanksgiving, this Black Friday game, and then we're going to make the rest of our predictions for Sunday. So
we always start out with kind of glossing over week 12.
Go ahead, Mama.
I will gloss over week 12 for me.
Okay.
It's fact. It was horrible. Then y'all kiss my ass. And Myles Garrett, you are not the best defensive player in the NFL. Sorry, but you're just not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I always
congratulations, they did win. So
look, like I've said before, if you ask me what defensive player would I rather have, the next question the question that I would ask you is what type of defense are we running? If
we're going to run a 4-3 or we're going to run a 3-4.
And that would be my answer. If it's a 4-3, give me Myles Garrett. If it's a 3-4, give me TJ. But they're both very good at what they do. Not to diminish any.
I'd love it. Listen, I'll take him. We don't have Mason Rudolph, so we don't have to worry about no helmet slinging over top of a bare head. I'll take him, put him on my defense. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I think he'd eat just as well in Pittsburgh as he does up there.
Probably more so. Please. I mean, you talk about bookends like that, and Highsmith too. Like who would you double? But look, the Browns, and this is what frustrates people about the Browns, because you see some of the talent there. They do look. We laugh and joke about the Browns. The Browns do have some good players over there. Yes. I think that their main thing that's been holding them back for years, the quarterback position, consistency at the quarterback position. All of the guys that they've drafted, the Johnny Manziels, the Baker Mayfields, the Tim Couches, the Brandon.
Well, and the thing, then you got to start looking at head coaching, general manager. That kind of
coordinators.
Stuff. Look at what Baker Mayfield's doing with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing about them. They still got to get the Deshaun Watson ordeal ironed out. So we'll see what happens.
And I agree with Dalton. He wants to know, how do you think TJ Watt would do in a 4-3 defense? And I still think he can play it. I mean, look.
And see, that's where me and you, because I'm like, where do you play him at?
Well, but would you not have rather had him over Taco Charlton? I rest my
yes,
right.
But yes, I would. But if we're going to play a 3-4, then the only reason that they took Taco Charlton for one reason, you know what that reason was, right? Because we were 4-3 defense, and they're like they didn't think TJ, and I don't think TJ Watt. I'm like, the debate was, where do you play him at? I don't think he has he's technically a linebacker, but you can't. He does. To me, he doesn't have the foot speed to play like middle linebacker from sideline to sideline. And
see, I disagree.
And he's too small to play defensive end. Just like Micah Parsons is too small to play a defensive end. Him and Micah Parsons are the same size. And what did we see with Micah Parsons when they put him up there with 60 snaps? What did they do to him? They run directly at him. So I don't believe TJ would be as great as he is. I'm not going to say he would be like a bum, but he wouldn't be the dynamic player that he is with the Steelers in a 4-3, in my opinion. And a lot of people felt like that. That's why they didn't draft him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's not forget, Myles Garrett was the number 1 overall pick, as compared to TJ, who was picked because they were like, okay, where are we going to play him at? You know what I'm saying? So but it doesn't diminish either. They found their home. They ended up where they were supposed to be. Well, I wish Myles Garrett hadn't went to the Browns, but we'll see what happens. The Steelers, they lose this game, but to me, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. I don't want to say that. That would be kind of dismissive. But the Browns beat the Ravens too. So, so
what, 2 weeks prior? 2 weeks prior.
Yeah. So does that make you think less of the Ravens?
I tried to tell everybody. When we played Baltimore, I was nowhere near as nervous for that game as I was for the Cleveland Browns game. I told you that prior to the game. I'll tell you this now. We got to play them one more time. And I'm telling you, I'm more nervous about playing them than I am playing against Baltimore or even Cincinnati. Because let me tell you about the Cleveland Browns. When they play in their division, they usually split with Pittsburgh. They usually split with Baltimore. And they usually split a game with Cincinnati.
They know
how. They know that when you're a division rival and you play that team twice a year, you learn the ins and outs of each team. You learn the ins and outs. Yeah. And you also know, like certain players missing, they know where to go to pick on. So as far as game planning, I think they do a damn good job game planning against their division rivals. Yeah. And again, this is a little bit better at game planning, and they got a better defense than Baltimore. They got a better defense than Cincinnati, and I think they're pretty equal with our defense. I think our defense and the Cleveland Browns defense are pretty equal. I'll even give them they have better corners because they have a little more experience than what our corners do.
Denzel Ward is definitely he's a top 5 corner in my. I don't know if I have him as a top, the top ring corner, but top 5. And then you look at, Myles Garrett, you look at, and Denzel Ward, Ozzie Newsome, Greg Newsome.
Ace and I talked about this on one of our shows because Ace was typing in comments. Yeah. And we have said from the get-go, Baltimore Ravens defense is suspect. Mm-hmm. They are not the defense that we usually see coming out of Baltimore. Yeah. Because they put more money on the offensive side of the ball this year than they did the defensive side.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the balancing act that you play in the NFL, the balance act. It's like you can't have all pro players at at every position. Somewhere you have to, Bill Parcells used to have a saying. He goes, "You can't have filet mignon at every position. If you put a lot of your money on the offensive side of the ball, Cincinnati Bengals, it usually has an effect on your defense. Your defense isn't that great. And if you put all your money on your defense, back in the day, Rex Ryan, with the Jets, all of his draft picks, all of his money was on the defense side of the ball. Now or back in the day, the 2000 Ravens, Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all those guys, it hurts you. Now you got to go out there with Trent Dilfer, so it's a balancing act. You want to try to find good players on both sides of the ball. So week 12, Lions continue their winning ways. If somebody were to say, KC won today, they're 11-1, and I think the Lions are 11-1 too, 10-1, 11-1. If somebody were to say, I feel like the Lions are the best team in the NFL, they want to have that debate. I think that's a very valid argument to have. They are very talented. Jared Goff, I don't know if I have him as my top MVP. I do have him in the MVP race. I think you have to look at Lamar, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and then right after that, probably Jared Goff. But they're playing good ball. That 1-2 punch on the running back, Amon-Ra, Laporta, he shows up. But you can kind of tell they're really missing Aiden Hutchinson. And I think if they were to fall in the playoffs, I think that would be I don't see a guy on their defense that you need that guy. And it's hard to get those kind of guys, it's really hard to get the TJ Wattses and the Myles Garretts and the Micah Parsons, and the Max Crosbys. It's hard to get guys like that. So that's really the only, chink in their armor that I kind of see. The Bucks.
I think the Dallas Cowboys right now are playing better than they have played. They have played even when Dak was there. Yeah.
We've won 2 straight games. We won our first home game of the season. I also look at opponent.
I thought you didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
The first home game y'all won was
today. It was Thanksgiving.
We
were 0-5. We were 0-5. Yeah.
That's
we
what
just
I'm
won. Yeah.
And that's without Dak Prescott.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But that's our first home game winning the entire year. We were 0-5. Trust me, I had people torturing me about it. It's tough. It's been really tough, but I'm kind of split on that. I'll talk about it in a minute. Bucks. Look, Baker Mayfield's continuing his a really good season. He finally got back Mike Evans. Mike Evans, who I view as one of the better wide receivers in the league. I don't think he gets enough credit. I don't know if he makes that consecutive 1,000 yards. I think he's at 300, 400 yards now with 5 games left. These next few games, he's gonna have to have 150, 200 yard game. I don't know if he makes it this year though. Vikings get back on track. Look, your thoughts on the Vikings, Mona? They started off so hot, and I actually lost a damn T-shirt to Kyle Stoye, but Sam Darnold's kind of cooled down a little bit, but they did get the win. You do want to get that win. Tennessee Titans edge out the Texans. The Texans have kind of disappointed me a little bit. I had really high expectations. Now they did just get back Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins gives them a whole nother look.
He was playing in that game against Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, same thing. Those division games are always, Will Levis look good. Tony Pollard looks good in that system over there. They edge out the Texans. San Francisco. The
Giants. Listen, Giants.
Packers.
No, The Niners, sorry.
Yeah.
Just said it, but I was looking at the damn Giants thing. The 49ers are in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't see them getting any better next season because next season they got to start paying their quarterback. And when they start trying to pay him $55-60 million a year to be a quarterback, then all pro players that they have on that team, they're going to have problems keeping players on this team. We talked about it with Cincinnati when they paid Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Now we know they're getting ready to probably lose T. Higgins, although I heard a Bengals fans say get rid of Trey Hendrickson and keep Higgins.
Oh, God. You're going to give up your best. And see, you see what I'm saying? That would basically be putting all of your resources
on the offensive side.
On the offensive side. You're already bad.
Defense is bad enough as a
defense. That would be a terrible idea. That would be absolutely terrible. So what, you're going to have a $40 million. Look, when Chase comes up, he's going to jump over Jefferson. Jefferson's making 35. So you're talking about close to 40 million for Chase. And then Higgins views himself as a number one receiver. So he's probably going to get like 30 plus. You can't spend 70.
Dalton said, let's be honest, how many of y'all really thought AFC South was going to be this bad? We all thought that.
Yeah.
We all thought AFC South was going to be bad this year.
It's the worst division. Worst division in football. Worst division in football.
Yeah.
I thought that. I think we all kind of had the Texans winning that division.
We had them running away with it.
Yeah, and yeah, now again throw things out the window. We just talked about Steelers and Browns. Anytime you're facing a division opponent, I mean, I didn't think that the Cowboys were going to beat the Commanders. I didn't have them beat. I think we both took them. Had the Commanders winning that game. So I mean, you throw that stuff out the window, but yeah, AFC South is pretty bad. They're really bad. Seahawks, they edge out the Cards. Geno Smith's having a really great year. I like what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. Weatherspoon, I really like him.
And the Seahawks also have a little bit of a advantage being at home. Plus, it was raining, and Arizona's in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that gave them an advantage. Yeah. I think if you take Seattle and you take them to Arizona and play Arizona the way they've been playing all year, I think it's a total different game.
Yeah. The Cardinals have definitely gotten better. I think you'll see more of an improvement with Marvin Harrison Jr. I still think the world of him. But he sometimes we forget some of these guys are rookies, and it's like a lot of guys don't just come in and just take over the league. I still think Marvin Harrison Jr. is a generational type talent. I think Malik Neighbors is a generational type talent. But not everybody just comes in. Randy Moss and just has a just all world rookie season. So we'll see what happens. Broncos, very surprising. Bo Nix. Look, I said this before, on Coffee Talk, a few days ago. Bo Nix, Amber Autumn, Melissa, y'all been telling me about this guy. You're like, Marcus, you need to make sure you.
You mean Autumn Dillon?
That's what I call her. I call her Autumn Amber. That's what I call her because that's her middle name, Autumn Amber. So Bo Nix, they were like, Marcus, I need you to say something nice about Bo Nix because you were kind of questioning him a little bit. I'm sold, guys. You got me. I tap out. Bo Nix, I wouldn't have a problem if somebody says that Bo Nix has jumped in front of Jaden Daniels for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yes, I said it. I would not have a problem with somebody saying that. He's playing good ball, and the Commanders have lost 3 straight. They've lost 3 straight. So Bo Nix, he's on the upward swing. Jaden Daniels on the downward swing. Dolphins, they get the win over the Patriots. They sweep the Patriots this season. I just think that the Dolphins, they lost so much ground when Tua was out. Plus, the Bills are running away with that division. I think the Bills, if they win this weekend, I thought I read something. If the Bills win this weekend, they win the division. I mean, we're in week 13, and you win the damn division in week 13. I think that says a lot about how much dominance they've had there. Chiefs, they squeak out the they squeak out one over the Panthers. But look, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. I'm starting to have some concerns about the Chiefs, and look, I get it. They're still the man. Mona, we always say, to be the man, you got to beat the man. I get it. I have some real concerns about the Kansas City Chiefs. Their tackles, some of the mental mistakes, that they don't normally make, dynamic playmaking, and the thing that they've kind of held their reputation on is their defense. I think that they really miss Snead. I think that Snead. I don't think people realize how.
I said it last year. They should not have let Snead out the door.
It was just tough, and we talked about that with the gift and the curse. Mona, we were talking about this a little bit before the show. The good thing about having great players and a great coaching staff is you're winning games. The bad thing about that, everybody starts poaching your players. Let's not forget the Chiefs
and your coaching staff.
Your coaching staff. Let's not forget the Chiefs. They lost Tyreek Hill. They lost Snead. You start losing players because people want those players. You lose Eric Bieniemy from the coaching staff. So. I think it's finally starting to catch up to them. The injuries, the losing of the coaches, some of the players that you thought would kind of step up. The Chiefs' bad coaching. How you have Pacheco and Hunter out? I thought that. I think that they're trying to be cautious with Pacheco, which I can understand. You just got him back. I don't know if I'm.
But you go back and you look at that, watch that game.
Yeah.
And neither one of them were running the ball. What the hell?
Pacheco was running really good. I think they kind of had him on a pitch count today. We know what Pacheco
fine, but then that's fine. But then you run Hunt. Hunt's run all year long.
Yeah, Hunt's a little banged up though. So whatever's ailing them and some of the things, and I get you, Dwayne, as far as Taylor's driving me crazy. And Mona, we were just talking about this a little while ago. Taylor's not a very smart football player. He's not. The dude is constantly getting false starts. He's constantly getting illegal formations, lining up in the backfield, and it's like after a while, I saw a little bit of frustration on Mahomes' face today. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But they've got to clean that up. Both of those tackles are really struggling this year. So we'll see what happens with that. And the Eagles get the win over the Rams. The Eagles, probably the second best team in the NFC. And with them, it's just Barkley. Barkley has given.
You say that, but I think we'd have to see the Eagles and the Lions play. Because I don't know that there's a second best team in the NFL.
Yeah, you know what? Let's say on paper, but you know what I say about playing on paper. We don't play football on paper. So
no,
yeah,
I played football. I played football with paper footballs.
You used to play that too? You remember to play paper football? Yeah.
I can still make a hell of a football.
Can you hit were you good with the field goals?
I was.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, we're really showing our age, Bona. We're probably going to start talking about pencil fighting too. I won't even go there with the pencil fighting.
I used to do that too.
I'm saying. So there's your Sunday scores.
You don't remember 2 pencils, buddy.
Number 2. Hell no, I get them thick. You remember them thick ass pencils? They were about that. Them thick ass.
Yeah, but they wouldn't nobody play with you on the bus.
Yeah. I had my little trusty thick ass. What are those? I think those were number 3s. the number 2 is the regular pencil. I think those were number 3 pencils. So
Well, you had the pencils that were kind of rubbery feeling.
yeah,
Yeah, but not right.
yeah.
But the one good thing about the number 2 is it was so hard.
Yeah.
If you could catch that metal piece on the fucking pencil,
Oh
you
yeah,
could break that pencil
this
no
thing
problem.
right in half.
Every time. But after you broke a couple pencils, you had to get a new pencil because
Yeah,
that
it'd be
one
so
was weak.
it'd be so battle damaged.
No,
It'd be so
we're still talking about.
We're talking about pencil fighting and paper football. So Ravens, they get back. They bounce back. They had the loss to your Steelers 10 days ago. They get a little bit of a rest. And look,
they almost lost that game.
They did. And
if Herbert had a few more offensive weapons, if he had a running game, and another receiver, they win that game.
I like the kid McConkey, like you were saying, Mona. I still think that they, and a lot of people are going to be like, I heard a lot of people saying that they should have drafted Malik Neighbors. I mocked to them Malik Neighbors, and me and Ace were talking about this before the show. I like the direction that they're going, though. I see the vision that he's going. He's like, I'm going to shore up this offensive line. We got 3 first-round picks on our offensive line. I think McConkey will move to that number 2 wide receiver, but they've got to go get a dynamic number 1 wide receiver. And then, the Ravens, coming back from that loss, a very deflating loss to your Steelers, Mona, and they needed this. And I think this is kind of making that Chargers team a little bit more battle tested, but a very entertaining game. Herbert's moving around. This is the healthiest I've seen Herbert in a couple of years. He's running around, taking off, scrambling with the ball.
He's got a decent offensive line now.
Oh yeah, he's got 3 first-round picks on there. Yeah,
they're really protecting him.
Yeah,
but I think they're another good draft away.
Yeah.
I think you have the new Harbaugh, the new old Harbaugh. How the hell do I say that?
Yeah.
And I think he gets this team going. I really do. I think that this, next year will be his second year as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be a big part of this upcoming draft.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing we know he can do is he can put a football team together.
Yep, he's been a winner everywhere he's been, from Stanford to Let's not forget this guy's a defense.
Problem playing against his brother.
Yeah. I don't know if he's ever won. I think he's 0-3, 0-4 against his brother, even including that Super Bowl loss.
Yep.
So yeah, they got to get a few more pieces, but they're definitely going in the right direction. And Bateman, I like what I see with Bateman. He kind of redeemed himself. He had that long bomb that he caught. He's kind of starting to fall into what their expectations of him when they drafted him. I don't know if he's the number 1 guy on that team. I think Zay Flowers is kind of taking over that role, but he's kind of coming into his own. So it's nice to see that. So what we got next?
Oh, sorry. Okay. News and
some notes. Look, this guy in most of my fantasy leagues, he was my first-round pick. It's killed me in fantasy football leagues. I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves as far as what he does for that Chiefs offense. He offers a certain physicality with him. I love the way he runs. He runs like a toddler that stole,
a handful of cookies.
Yeah, that's the way he runs. He runs very angry. He played today. We'll talk about that in a minute. But one of my favorite players in the NFL, Isaiah Pacheco. So it's good to see him back. And hopefully in the next few weeks, he kind of falls in, back into his role as the lead back there. This was big news. I reported this the other day on Coffee Talk. Daniel Jones, he was cut last week and found a new home real quick. He got cut by the Giants and he, signed a deal with the Vikings. Look, Mona, I talked about it a little bit. I want to know your opinion on Daniel Jones, your thoughts on the whole New York Giants situation, and your thoughts as Daniel Jones overall as a football player and his future going forward. What are your thoughts on him? I talked about it a little bit. I want to know your thoughts on that.
I think he might be a career backup but I don't even know that he'll stay in the league long enough to be a career backup.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about with bust. Now, look, I had people that get really upset when I use the term bust. Marcus, you called Baker Mayfield a bust. Well, at the time, he was a bust. Now, it's like I said on Coffee Talk. If you're an F student today, and then 4 years down the road, you become a straight A student and are on the dean's list, that doesn't take away that you were a crappy student 4 years ago. That's great that you improved, but I'm judging you off of today. Today, Daniel Jones is not a very good quarterback. He would be considered a bust. He was the number 6 overall pick in the draft. You know who else went 6, 7? Josh Allen. Okay? Josh Allen. So another guy who went 6, 7, Anthony Richardson. Right now, Anthony Richardson's not a very good quarterback. Daniel Jones, we've seen a few years of him. He has a problem consistently throwing the ball. And in this league, having athleticism and being able to run around is great. But the number one job as a starting quarterback in the NFL is you have to consistently throw the ball accurately from the pocket. Daniel Jones is not that guy. So he's going to be backing up Sam Darnold. I think this is just a half a year rental because he's not going to take over that starting job because they just drafted J.J. McCarthy. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL earlier in the year. When he comes back next year, he's going to be year 2 and really a rookie in year 2. So he's going to have to try to show something. Maybe something opens up, in the offseason, but he's going to be backing up Sam Darnold for now. So we'll see what goes on with him.
Dwayne, I knew who you meant when you said kept typing Hill. I knew you meant Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. What we got next? Our third coach to be fired this year. We had Saleh get fired. We had Dennis Allen from the Saints get fired, and Eberflus. And I'm really not surprised with it. Like you could just tell, we talked about the game that they lost on Thanksgiving. I think they were kind of on the fence about him, but I think last night losing that game on Thanksgiving with the terrible time management skills, they should have been able to get off three plays, maybe 4, and they got off 1. And they had an opportunity to beat the Packers, and you just can't make mistakes like that. You just can't. You can't do it. So Matt Eberflus, the third head coach, right? And look, you're going to have more coaches. And then when we get to the end of the year, was it Black Monday? That Monday right after the last games are played on the last Sunday.
Yeah.
Black Monday. You're going to have probably about 4, 5, 6 more guys up in there. So it's just it's the way in the NFL. You can't make mistakes like that. You just can't do it. And when you do, you end up in the unemployment line. So. Hopefully you're able to get back. Giants are officially the first team to be eliminated from the playoffs, and the Raiders are the second. I just saw something on them. Raiders are officially eliminated, and you have a few more teams this week that will be eliminated. Probably a team like the Browns, Jacksonville. They're going to be up out of there. But the Giants, the New York Giants, and it's just sad because. You have a guy like Malik Neighbors, who I think the world of, and they got to get a quarterback. They've got to, and this is what hurts you when you draft a quarterback early in the draft and he doesn't pan out. Now you got to go. You got to let this kid that you just drafted play 3 or 4 years. Daniel Jones, 3 or 4 years. You just signed him 4 years, $160 million, and he doesn't pan out. Now you got to go into the draft again. You got the number 1 pick, and now you got to. Who's he going to be? Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, or somebody else? Will it be somebody that kind of rises? Every year we have a quarterback that comes out of the blue, has a great, college football playoffs, and they were like, nobody thought that Joe Burrow would be number 1 the year that he went number 1. Everybody had Tua Tagovailoa going number 1.
I didn't. Not after the injury he had in college.
Yeah.
I did not have him going number 1.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Tua, up to that point, he got hurt, and then no one had really heard of Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I mean,
and he
came
Joe
Burrow to his senior year with LSU.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, it might be somebody these college football playoffs. We're gonna see some guy go, oh my God, this guy's really good. We just hadn't really seen him on a national stage. So we'll see. But I would be willing to bet some of my good disability money that the New York Giants will be drafting a quarterback with their top draft pick. So we'll see what happens with that. What we got next? Look, Tua, this one's for you, Jay Renard. I try to tell you, you have the grizzly bear versus the polar bear. If you go to fight a polar bear in the cold, it usually doesn't work out very well for you. Tua Tagovailoa, he's a very good quarterback. But look, here's the numbers for you. These are your numbers right here. He does not. I think he's like 0-8 now in games at 40 degrees or lower. You're going to have to play in the cold weather. Your whole division, the AFC East, is outdoor cold weather teams. New England, New York Jets, Buffalo. And you play them twice a year, 6 games.
Well, I mean, we used to say the same thing about the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
They're an outside team with a dome roster.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what they're really going to have to look at their roster construction going forward, because it's just not sustainable, and unless you get the number 1 seed, back in the day, the top 2 seeds would get, a bye week. Now it's just the number 1 seed gets that bye. So unless you win that division or end up as the number one overall seed, you're going to have to travel to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and you haven't had success there. So y'all need to clean that up, change some of that roster, make some moves and stuff like that to change that, because that's not trending in the right direction. What we got next, Mona? And this is I just got this. This is today. Chiefs have won 14 one-possession games in a row. Look, and that's great. Look, in the end, in the words of Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. Got it. But you also, when you see certain things in your team, i.e. Jawan Taylor lining up in the backfield in the legal formation, false starting, wide receivers dropping the ball, you have to fix those things, because as you go into playoffs, you're not playing the Raiders in the playoffs. You're playing the Buffaloes, the Baltimores, the Steelers, the teams that are disciplined, well-coached teams. And when you're making mistakes like that against those types of teams, you're probably not going to survive it. So you got to get that cleaned up. But it's great that you're winning these games, but you got to get it cleaned up, because not every week you're going to be playing the Raiders. Just bottom line. So that's great to win. You want to win. That's that's the result that you want. But you see certain things that you got to get cleaned up. Like Meek Mill says, whatever you do, there's levels to this. Every week, Alphabet's Football Show brings you the power rankings and the statistical leaders, the offensive and defensive stats. Here's your power rankings for post week 12. Lions still up there at number 1. They're 10-1, 11-1. Playing just really good football. Dominant on both sides of the ball. Buffalo, even with they have 2 losses, but they've been playing very good football. 9-2, something like that. 9-2. I think they're 9-2, 10-2, something like that. Eagles, right now they're sitting at the number 2 seed in the NFC behind Detroit. KC, even with their just 1 loss, and this just tells you what they think with these power. The Chiefs have only lost 1 game, and they're at number 4. They're at number 4, and they've only lost 1 game. Lions are at number 1, and they've only lost 1 game. But this shows you what they think of the Chiefs, the way that they're playing. This isn't the Chiefs that we've been accustomed to seeing, the well-oiled machine that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, that doesn't beat themselves. This is what they think of you. And like I just said in the previous slide, you got some things that you got to clean up. I'm having Jawan Taylor sit down and film study, and we're going to have a long film study. We really are. Ravens at 6, Vikings
The
still,
Ravens are at number 5.
Ravens at 5. Yeah, Ravens at 5, Vikings at 6, Packers looking really good. Jordan Love is you kind of see him getting a little bit healthier. Your Steelers dropped back, a few spots, Mona.
They dropped back 3 freaking spots.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I still say that was some bullshit, but I don't
Yeah.
care. I like
Yeah.
being in the middle. I like
Yeah.
being around, ranked 10th, 11th. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
us be the dark horses. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see there, and then some of the teams towards the back end, the Jacksonville, the Panthers, and the Jags, they're back there. Here's all your division leaders. Like I said, Buffalo can seal it up this week and get in the playoffs. Pittsburgh, y'all are going to be in a dogfight. You got another game against the Ravens over there in the north.
We got another game against Ravens. We got 2 games against Cincinnati, and got another game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Then we got to play the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yeah, you got a nice little gauntlet over there. I had so much hope and look, the Texans are still, they're winning that division. I just had them just running away with that division. And I mean, technically, they're 2 games ahead of Indy, and they're 4 games over the Titans and but I just, and the Jags, but I just thought they'd be like, 10-2 now. Chiefs running away with that division, but both of the Chargers and the Broncos are 6 and 7, and right now currently the 6 and 7 seeds in the AFC. Jumping over to the NFC, Philadelphia, they kind of jumped over the Commanders. The Commanders were, they're on a 3-game skid right now. They're on a 3-game skid. They haven't won since early November. Atlanta and Tampa Bay. I thought that Tampa Bay was going to be pretty dominant in that division, but then that Chris Godwin injury was really kind of bad. Yeah. And Atlanta has kind of disappointed me. I thought that they would be a little bit better. Mona, we talked about this last week. I think it's starting to get to that point, and I think we agreed on this, Mona, where
bench Cousins.
Do we start hearing the calls for the kid? Where Michael Penix, number 8 overall pick in the draft, might be time to kind of get him out there and get him some playing time.
Even if you don't go anywhere this year,
yeah,
you're getting him some real game time play.
Yeah, see, the thing they're looking at is we can win this division, and who gives us the best chance to win this division? But I'm just like, if you have a veteran quarterback making rookie mistakes, then guess what? I'm going to play the rookie. Detroit and Minnesota in the dogfight over there in the north. But I really like what Detroit's doing. They're very impressive. And then look in the West. That might come down to the last week who wins that division. I mean, they're all within a game of each other in that division. Last year, prior to the Christmas game, the Chiefs looked like a team that would lose in the first round of playoffs. We're back to looking like that again, despite you got to clean some of that stuff up. And Jawan Taylor, I'm just sorry. I keep singling this kid out, but he's been doing this all year. He had like 4 bad calls in the first game of the season. He's still doing the same thing. False start in legal formation. You start off, he does it. It's first and 10.
Illegal formation has been the majority of the calls against him.
Yes. And the thing about it is, you're coming out 1st and 10. Now it's 1st and 15, 1st and 20.
Like I said, the guy lined up beside it needs to every play look beside it and see where he's lined up and say, dude, get up on the line.
Yeah, you got to because it's really becoming a problem. So there's all your division leaders there. As of today, if the playoffs were to start today, your two number one seeds would be KC, and on the NFC side, the Lions. You would have Broncos versus Broncos
In the Bills.
in Buffalo. Buffalo would be hosting the Broncos. Your Steelers would be hosting the Chargers, Mona, and the Texans would be hosting Baltimore. On the NFC side, like I said, the Lions would have a bye, and then the Commanders would be going to Philly. Green Bay would be going to who's that? The Seahawks, and the Vikings would be going to Atlanta. I never liked that. I'm like, I hate that. When I look, the Vikings have lost 3 games, and then the Falcons are 6-5, and they would get a home game against me. It was this one year. It was a team. It was like 7-8-1. I think it was the Panthers, and they got to host a game. It's crazy. So that's it right now. Of course, this will change every week. And you're gonna have some teams, and then you got the guys that are still in the hunt. Dolphins, and I don't know if there's a Colts and Bengals. If the Bengals lose this weekend to your Steelers, they're done. They're toast. They're basically playing for their playoff lives. Cardinals, Bucks, Rams, and 49ers. All the teams in the NFC South still got a chance over there. So
and Bengal players already running their mouths.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But there's your playoff picture right now. Here's your statistical leaders here. Look at Lamar Jackson, the 2-time MVP who's leading the league in every passing stat, touchdown passes, passing yards, QBR. He's leading everything. Geno Smith, Joe Burrow, with even those numbers, and with their record, like I said, they're fighting for their lives this weekend. CJ Stroud and Kirk Cousins. We talked about Kirk Cousins, but he's kind of having a down year by his standards. Jamar Chase just running away with it. He's about to make a lot of money. And his college teammate, Jettis, he's going to probably jump over him. And CeeDee Lamb, Scary Terry, and Zay Flowers, kind of emerging as that number one wide receiver one for the Ravens. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, I think this is going to come down to probably the last week of the season. Now, Barkley and them, they're the number 2 seed. I could see them possibly, if they get things locked up, I could see a scenario where they sit Barkley because he's very critical of what they. Can you see that, Mona? Where if they were to lock up the division and maybe lock up that number 2 seed, I could see them sitting Barkley because he's like critical what they do. I could see them look like we're going to run with Kenneth Gainwell. Him and Henry, they're in a 2-man race over there. Josh Jacobs, look, all of these guys, all 3 of these guys were on different teams last year. Barkley with the Giants, Henry with the Titans, Jacobs with the Raiders, and all of them get the hell out of certain situations and look at what they're doing. Jahmyr Gibbs, and this guy split in touches with Montgomery, and they both got double-digit touchdowns. Both of them have over 10 rushing touchdowns. And then Chuba Hubbard kind of, has emerged over there. I like what they're doing, just got an extension. They should have a nice little 1-2 punch next year with him and the kid Jonathan Brooks next year.
And by the way, Lamar and Joe Burrow both had 27 touchdown passes.
27. Look at that, 27. We still got 5 games left to play. You're talking about guys that are probably going to hit close to 40 touchdowns. So that's crazy, That's great. I mean, he's on pace at about 4,500 yards. And the thing is, they don't have that locked up over there. They're not going to be able to rest people. Just like your Steelers, y'all are going to be able to rest players because you
just got Pacheco back.
Yeah,
Dwayne, come on now. You keep saying they need to utilize the running backs, but they just got Pacheco back.
Yeah.
You were doing this all year with just basically with Hunt.
Yeah.
Now that you got Pacheco back, let him get a couple of games under his belt healthy, before they start giving him the ball every play.
Yeah. I want to win. I want to win the war. Look. I get wanting to win a battle, but I want to win the overall war, and I think that's the approach that they're looking at there, because Pacheco's critical to what they're doing, and you're also getting back a guy like Hollywood Brown too. So I'm sure they're looking forward to that. And since my co-host is a diehard defensive aficionado. Here's our defensive stats. Trey Hendrickson up there, up top. This guy here, he's because he plays with the Bengals and the Bengals are struggling now. I don't think that he gets the recognition that he deserves. What he's doing over there, 11.5 sacks.
Hunt and Pacheco had the same amount of carries. They had 7 carries apiece. That was 14 carries.
Yeah.
Hunt had 15 yards to Pacheco's 44 yards.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, he's doing more, but he got 30 more yards on the same amount of carries. So Danielle, he's gonna
gimpy right now too.
Yeah, he is. He's a little banged up. I mean, Hunt was sitting on the couch and they brought him back. So Danielle Hunter at number 2, coming down from the Vikings, they were supposed to have a nice little tag team between him and Will Anderson Jr. I think you'll see that more next year. Will Anderson's been a little bit banged up. The Broncos, what a pleasant surprise for them.
Mr. Officially Blown.
What's that?
Who is that?
Who's that?
Mr. Officially Blown.
Mr. Officially what?
Blown. BLWN is blown. It's short for blown.
Oh, I have no earthly idea. With Georgia Tech pissed the game away.
I'm watching Georgia Tech piss the game away.
Oh, okay. I have no idea who that is. Put your name in there and let us know. I don't know who that is. I don't know the nicknames.
I don't know. I like what he said though.
Yeah. Myles Garrett jumps into the top. The top 3.
Well, I happened to get 3 damn sacks in one game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And then look at that. You got both the edge rushers. I mean, you talk about a dynamic duo. Danielle Hunter with 10.5 and Will Anderson Jr. You talk about a tag team, tag team partners there. So those are your sack leaders, and then jumping over to the interceptions. Joseph from the Lions, Xavier McKinney. Look, he had all of those years with the Giants. And then to come over here have 7 interceptions, and then Mona's somebody who a lot about, Marlon Humphrey over there with the Ravens. So these are your defensive statistical leaders here. So. It's still a race over there. The Hendrickson, I don't know if he wins that sack title. Mona, give me your Rocky Bleier players.
Okay, our defensive Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Awards go to, on the defensive side of the ball, we have Myles Garrett with 5 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and we have Kobe Bryant. Not that
Kobe Bryant.
Just Kobe with a C. 6 tackles and a 69-yard interception return for a touchdown. In our offensive players, we have Tua with 128.9 passer rating, 4 touchdown passes, 317 yards passing. And Saquon Barkley with 255 rushing yards, 47 reception yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
9th all-time greatest game for a running back there, 255 yards rushing. I mean, he ran up and down the field. 2 70-yard touchdown runs. Just getting out of the Giants was one of the best things that could ever happen to him.
Yeah. And our special teams players, AFC, is Will Lutz with the Denver Broncos. 17 points of their points was scored by him. He was 5 for 5 and 2 for 2 for point after attempts. Then we got Devontae Turpin with the Dallas Cowboys. Hi.
Yeah, they got to get the ball in this guy's hands more. I mean, he's just incredible.
Kickoff return yards, 179 yards on 4 carries. Kickoff return for a touchdown with 99 yards. I knew it. Listen, when I seen him get that ball, I told Gary, I said, watch him. He's going all the way. Watch him. And Gary's watching. He said, I'll be damned. He said, he did, didn't he? I said, yeah, I'm telling you, this guy is a weapon. He is an absolute weapon.
They got to find ways to get him the ball. He has a lot of Xavier Worthy in him. I'd like to see them get him stuff, put him in the slot, jet sweeps, just little stuff. I mean, he took a slant last week and took it. I mean, just outran everybody. He's had the fastest time this year. I think he was like nearly 23 miles an hour, 22 and some change, nearly 23 miles an hour.
I mean, last week I had it. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was. He's very fast, very, very fast. So, congratulations to all those guys there. So we're ready now for our picks.
We do our Thursday night games.
Thursday night games. Okay, yeah. So we got we had 3 Thanksgiving Day games. Your early game. This was your early game here. We talked about it a little bit. Matt Eberflus, blowing the call at the end.
Well, the week before he lost by 3 points.
Yeah, they're not going to tolerate that, and basically time management skills. And the thing about it was Caleb Williams kind of played bad in the first half, and he actually played pretty well in the second half of the game.
But not towards the end, I thought he looked pretty bad. Bad decision making.
Yeah. But I told you, they're not going to, like, well, why did he make, I go, he's a rookie. The person who's going to get the blunt of that is going to be the coach.
Right.
He doesn't have enough skins on the wall to be making audibles and changing plays and stuff like that. And, the Lions, this is the best record they've ever had. They're 10-1.
11-1.
11-1. This the best record they've ever had in their existence. Ever, and they're nearly 100 years old. So, congratulations to them. The Lions have been, had a lot of struggles. Cowboys, get their first home win of the season. In a kind of an entertaining game, and the kid Rico Dowdle, the running back, he had 100 yards rushing. CeeDee Lamb being CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons, being disruptive. He's starting to get a little bit. He had got hurt. He's kind of making his way back. Deron Bland, the corner, he's making his way back. And Cooper Rush, being a good backup quarterback. A lot of times these players, I want to be a starter. I want to be a star. I think Cooper Rush is very happy with his lot in life. Being a backup, making pretty damn good money. He's not flashy, but even when Dak got hurt last time, he played pretty well. Went 4-1, I believe, and Dallas gets their win there. So I know they were very happy to get their first home win of the season. They've been getting their ass kicked since that Green Bay playoff game last week. Speaking of Green Bay, look, Jordan Love. You're starting to see with Jordan Love, the talent there. And I'll tell you what, Josh Jacobs, I have been extremely impressed with him. What he's doing over there, running the ball, giving them that physical type, just his physical running style. The guy is just, he's a problem. And, we just showed you Xavier McKinney over there. They're taking away the ball. And it was cold out. It was cold. It was very cold, and the Packers, get the win there. So congratulations to them.
Okay, and our Black Friday game.
The Chiefs. We talked about it a little bit. Look, in the end, you play to win the game. Hello, you play to win the game. Got it. Happy you won the game. Antonio Pierce is probably going to be gone next year for the Raiders, but the Chiefs got to play better. The Chiefs that I see right now, this is one of the worst Chiefs teams that I've seen since in the Mahomes era. I'm going to say it.
Well,
And-
we said the same thing last year. We said last year that was one of the worst Chiefs teams we've seen.
offensively, but their defense is struggling too. They're giving you're letting Aiden O'Connell throw the ball around and beat you. Like the defense was very good last year.
They
Yeah,
didn't beat them. They didn't beat them. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Aiden O'Connell throwing the ball around, throwing bombs at people. You're getting burned by Trey Tucker, really? You know, that would never happen. And I get it. Some of the losses, you know, we talked about losing a guy like Snead, but it's just the mistakes and just, you know, the Chiefs are usually a well-oiled machine and they're making mistakes. And that's just, they got to clean it up. They got to clean that up. But, you know, in the end, you know, you did get the win.
Yep.
And the Raiders get eliminated. So they're the second team to be eliminated, you know, from the playoff contention. So we are ready for our picks segment. Mona, we both went 4-0, and
So
we've
far.
already hit 4 games. That feels very good. I love, you know, usually there's only one Thursday game. To get 3 Thursday games, right?
And a Friday.
Yeah, and a Friday game. I'm feeling real good right now. So we are ready. Our 1:00 games on Sunday, our regular Sunday games. Chargers at Falcons, Mona.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay.
I'm going to say 24-18.
24-18. I'm also taking the Chargers. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. That Chargers defense is nice. They're really nice. Now, J.K. Dobbins is out, but you have Gus Edwards, who's healthy again. And I've always liked Gus Edwards. He's always filled in very nicely. He filled in nicely for him with the Ravens. 2017 Chargers.
I think Chargers lost against the Ravens because they lost.
J.K.
Dobbins.
Yeah.
What did you say the score was?
2017. Low scoring game.
Okay.
Okay. Mona, your Steelers at Bengals.
I am taking my Steelers. 24-21.
24-21. Okay. I think that the Steelers are a better football team. I'm taking the Chargers in this game in a very close game.
You mean the Bengals?
The Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals in this game because I think that the Bengals I think you're going to see the most desperate Bengals. I think they're going to be going forward on 4th down.
I think coming off that loss against Cleveland Browns, they ain't going to want to face that defense.
I just think that they're going to throw all stops out because if they lose this game, they're done. Any hope that they have of making it to the playoffs, and you know, we showed you the playoff, you know,
I get you.
If they lose this game, they're done. So I expect them to go for it on 4th down. I expect, you know, reverses. I respect everything that they can do to try to win this game. 24-21 Bengals, and not because the Bengals are better. I just think they're gonna do it. They're desperate, and when somebody's desperate, they do everything. That's a dangerous team. Texans at Jags, Mona.
I'm taking the Texans.
And I'm 2 games behind. I'm 2 games behind you. So I need to try to make up a game.
I'm gonna say 24-12.
24-12. I'm also taking the Texans been disappointing me. I'm going to take the Texans to 20 to 14. The Jags are bad on offense. Cards at Vikings. That's a pretty good one there. Cards at Vikings, Mona.
They playing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's a dome, so weather shouldn't be a factor. I'm going to go with Vikings. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 21-18 Vikings.
Vikes 21-18. Man, this is tough. Will the Cards lose 2 games in a row, and they're in contention? I'm gonna go Cards, and I'm gonna go. No, that Vikings defense, man.
That's the reason
Another
why.
close. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna go. That Vikings defense is really good, but I still think it'll be a close game. 21-20 Vikes. 21-20 Vikings. I go one game, 1 point game. Colts at Patriots, Mona.
I am taking the Patriots.
Okay.
And I think it's supposed to be snowing too.
Yeah, the whole the East Coast, all the way down the Eastern Seaboard, it's all supposed to be
I'm going to
frozen.
say low scoring game.
Okay.
I'm going to say 18-15.
I'm going to go Pats too. That defense, I really like the Patriots defense.
Well, not only that, but Drake May's playing some good football right now.
He is.
I mean, they get these kids some damn weapons.
Yeah. 14-12 Patriots. Very low scoring game. Seattle at Jets, Mona. Seattle at Jets.
I am taking Seattle. But I think Jets give them a fight. But I'm on 24-18 Seattle.
I'm with you. I like Seattle's defense. I really like their defense. I think
they're going to get after
Rodgers. Yeah. Another close game. 24-20 Seattle. Titans at Commanders, Mona.
I'm taking the Commanders.
Commanders, okay.
Not that Tennessee's not playing good ball, but I think that they Commanders have to get this win.
Yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak.
So I'm going to say Commanders 20. Almost 24-21.
I'm going Commanders too. They've really been messing up my picks. I think I've picked them for the 3 straight weeks, and they've lost all 3 games. I even picked them against my Cowboys. 20-17 Commanders. That Titans defense is pretty good. You're jumping over to your 4 or 5 games. Bucks at Charlotte in Carolina, Mona.
I'm taking the Bucks. Although Panthers are playing, better football right now.
They had the Chiefs on the ropes last week. But
I'm going to take the Bucks. 28-17.
I'm also taking the Bucks. they're going to try to run the ball at him. Chuba Hubbard. And I think you're going to start seeing Jonathan Brooks a little bit more. 20 to 17 Bucks. Another low scoring game. The Rams at the Saints, Mona.
I'm taking the Rams.
Okay.
25.
25?
Yeah, 25. 21.
25-21. I'm going Rams also. I'm gonna go. I like what Kyron Williams doing. Puka and Matthew Stafford, they gotta protect him though. 24-14 Rams. Eagles at Ravens. This I think this might be the game of the week right here. Eagles at Ravens. That's going to be a hell of a game. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe the game of the week.
I think the Eagles offense.
Derrick Henry versus Barkley.
Is Smith back?
He's just out for one game. Devonta Smith. I haven't seen him on any injury reports, but I would be watching it close to game time.
I'm going to take the Eagles.
Okay.
$28-24.
28-24. Okay. I'm taking because they're in Baltimore. I think they're going to be amped up. They're in a race. They're a game behind y'all. I think they're they're more desperate than the Eagles are because they're trying to, they still have a chance to win the AFC North. If they lose this game, with 4 games left and then having to see each other again, that could put them in a bad situation. I think it'll be a high scoring game. 32-28, and I think it's the Lamar, the Derrick Henry versus Barkley show. I think they're just going to run their backs to death on each other.
The one thing about it, and I'm going to tell you right now, the Ravens defense is not the Eagles defense.
No, they're not. The Ravens,
I don't think
for a team that traditionally prides itself on defense, the Ravens, that is, this may be one of the worst Ravens defensive teams that we've seen. Maybe. I mean, when you think about the Suggs and the Reeds and the Ray Lewises, and I don't see anything like their best defensive player is probably the safety Kyle Hamilton. I really like him, but their defense isn't that great.
Next game is 49ers in Buffalo. If it doesn't get postponed, because looking at those pictures, they look pretty bad.
Or move to Detroit.
Well, they tend to just postpone it.
Move it to Detroit. Yeah, it's too cold to play.
They didn't move ours to Detroit. They just fucking postponed it.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bills, though.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. 49ers are in trouble.
Yeah.
They are in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't think they get out of trouble playing against Buffalo Bills.
No Bosa.
Buffalo.
No Bosa. No Trent Williams. They're already been ruled out in this game. Not that I don't know if that would have made a difference, but it couldn't have hurt.
I got Buffalo. Depending on the weather.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 21-18 I'm gonna make it a little lower scoring game than what I think it would have been
Mm-hmm.
because I think there's going to be a lot of running the ball.
Yep.
And I haven't been real sold on 49ers defense.
Oh.
So
Fred Warner, he's been playing with a partially fractured ankle. No Bosa. I just don't see it.
and Trent's out too.
Yeah, on the offensive
The
line.
offensive side of the ball.
Purdy missed last week because he was hurt, and now your best offensive lineman's out. And when you're coming back from injury, I just don't see it. And then you're playing in the cold too. First good hit you get, Von Miller or one of those boys hit him, Epinesa. I'm going Bills too. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I think you see a lot of Cook. I think you see the kid. Ray Davis, who I really like. Dalton Kincaid's ruled out for this game too. I have him on my fantasy team. That's how I know. 20-12 Bills. 20-12 Bills. Brownies at your Monday night game. Brownies at Broncos, Mona.
At Denver. Okay. I'm taking the Browns.
Oh, you're taking the Brownies?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, they ain't going nowhere, but I think they're trying to make statements all over the NFL.
Okay.
Defensively, I think that they could wreck Denver's offense.
Okay.
And it just depends on which Winston shows up. He played lights out last week in a snow fest. Excuse me. Oh, it wasn't a sneeze and a cough.
That wasn't last week, was it?
Week 12, Steelers and
Was that the Steelers and
Browns?
Browns? Okay.
This is week 13.
Okay. These weeks are just like sneaking up on me.
I'm going to take Brown 24-21.
24-21.
I think they're tied and they end up kicking a field goal.
And I'm taking the Broncos. I think that thin air, Mona, we had talked about that.
It's right. It is Denver. I think maybe I did take Denver.
Yeah.
I think I did take Denver because of it being in Denver.
You want to change your pick?
I think I may have because I think I did some research on the game too. So
okay.
We'll look to see who I took. Let's see. I did take Denver. Usually, Winston doesn't have two good games in a row. So, too. Just switch my scores.
24-21 Broncos.
Yeah.
I'm also taking the Broncos. I like what Bo Nix is playing. Like I said, I think he's jumped ahead of Jaden Daniels for Offensive Rookie of the Year. They got a nice little running game, a little 1-2 punch. Javonte Williams, Audric Estime. I like what they're doing there. And Cortland Sutton's playing hella ball. He's probably going to get shadowed by Denzel Ward, but I like what the kid's doing. He's got a little moxie to him, moving around in that defense. Patrick Surtain, he's probably going to be following his college buddy, Patrick Surtain versus Jerry Jeudy. That ought to be fun. Alabama on Alabama crime. Only you'll love it. You'll love it.
You know what? I'm praying that we survive Auburn tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll definitely be watching that too. Low scoring game, 20-17 Broncos. 2017 Broncos at home stand. And Jameis Winston are going to be sucking air over there, that mild hot weather. So there's all our picks. Not that many picks because we had 4 games already for this week.
Right.
Mona, last words before we get ready to get up on here.
Just want to tell everybody I appreciate y'all supporting the show, and thank you guys for coming in and watching our show and going back and watching it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to make it grow so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was able to go live on Facebook, and I got to figure out how to go live in our group. Because for some reason it's not going live in our group.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll
but it's going live on like on our page.
Okay.
And it's going live on Rise Up.
Yeah, I tagged Rise Up over there. So, and then some of y'all, if you can't watch the show live, I know it's a Friday night, day after Thanksgiving. Some of y'all are doing your Black Friday shopping and stuff. I know a lot of people.
Thank you, Dwayne, for sharing the show. I appreciate that.
But if you can't watch live, then go back and watch the show. And I'll check in there for the comments in there. If I missed any comments, or you watch the show and you put a comment in there, then I'll go up in there. And that's what I do with Coffee Talk. Sometimes people, they don't watch Coffee Talk live, and then I'll go back and answer questions. It's really hard when I'm talking because I'm kind of monologuing. It's kind of hard to keep up with all the comments because there's a lot of comments coming. So it's not I'm ignoring anybody, but I'm kind of trying to walk and chew gum at the same time and talk and not lose my train of thought, and then try to answer questions. But we appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the support for Alphabets Football Show with my lovely co-hosts and everybody that tunes in to Coffee Talk. I appreciate that. I'm kind of starting to enjoy doing that, and they were people were asking for more content. It's really doing these shows is a lot. We do a 2-hour show, but there in between that time, from Friday to Friday, there's so much stuff that happens. So trying to stay up on that and try to keep content going. But if you want to support the show, get your Alphabets Football Show merch. 27 for short sleeves, 37 for long sleeves and long sleeve t-shirts, and 52 for hoodies. Get you a couple of hoodies, man. Get you a couple of hoodies. It's getting cold out, and it just helps. Just little stuff, little stuff. We appreciate it. We're gonna get up out of here. I think it's rivalry this week. That's a tongue twister. Rivalry week in college football, like Texas A&M, I think, Auburn, Alabama, Florida State, like all of the in-state rivals and stuff. So enjoy college football. Getting ready for these conference games and what a 12-team college football playoff, more football, college football. So, and we'll be back next week, next Friday. We'll be right back here Mondays through Thursdays on Coffee Talk. Just talking a little football and life. And we'll be back, man. Y'all have a good one. Happy belated Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. And enjoy. Okay, we'll see y'all next time. See ya.
Low sundown, the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash. Put them ones in the bag, now count up. Count up. Count up. Count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billion, 5 billion. I'm illy.